Good morning, everybody. I hope you have had a really good start to the week, and you might have seen some interesting characters walking around school over the last few days. Why? Well, this is because the upper six traditionally on their final week of term wear different costumes for each of the days, and they pick a theme. So we had, these were Movie Monday outfits. You might have seen all sorts of characters, Austin Powers, or well, I don't know, there's everything under the sun. Yesterday was Tourist Tuesday. Wednesday today links to the first letter of the name. So I'm not sure who the aubergine is. Have we got an Annie or an Anna? Amy? Was it? Eggplant Emily. Mr. Jewell knows these things. And I believe Granny Georgia might be somewhere. Tomorrow is Throwback Thursday, and Formal Friday is their final day with their Leavers Assembly. So I did smile. I saw some junior parents raising an eyebrow as Gru walked past them into school this morning down the driveway. But up six, I hope you have a super final week before your A-levels start. Now, I mentioned the storm on Sunday night, but I read a really interesting article in the Bournemouth Echo that said there had been 4,000 lightning strikes on Dorset during that storm. And they had a compilation of the lightning hitting the sea and the land. Let's have a look. So spectacular. So if your bedroom kept being lit up by white light, that is what was happening in the sky at the time. Amazing. I've also had 2 photographs sent in to me of beautiful sunsets. So let's have a look. The first one, Layla sent this in last night. How fantastic, that orange sky against the black silhouettes of the trees. I really like that, very striking. And then the next one was sent in by my niece. She's up in Cambridgeshire revising for her A-levels. And that it was the view out of her window. So she's got a field behind her bedroom, and then the sky looked amazing. Beautiful, beautiful colours. So I think the current atmospheric pressure is creating some really interesting skies and sunsets and features. So get your phones and cameras ready and send them in to us, please. It was also a very special day on Monday in terms of the moon. So have a look at this photo. There was a super blood moon in the early hours of Monday morning, and this is very unusual. So the Earth was positioned directly between the sun and the moon for a few minutes, which caused a lunar eclipse. And this shadow turned the moon a dusky shade of red, that sort of dark red color. And this event coincided with the supermoon, which is when the moon is at its closest to Earth in its orbit. So many people saw this huge dark red moon on Monday. So if you spotted that, well done. And I know all our keen astronomers will have been interested in that. I also asked you, what did you do in your Easter holidays? Well, we know that Mrs. Heathman-Abbott went to Seville and saw the Holy Week festivals. What did Miss Horgan do? Well, her camper van, look at that, up in the Scottish Highlands, and she sent in a map to show the journey. Amazing. From Poole all the way up to beyond John O'Groats, up into the Highlands. Fantastic journey that she had. So don't distract her in your lessons, but in some, perhaps at break time or lunchtime, if you see her wandering past, ask her about her epic camper van journey. Now, this morning, to link in with cultural diversity, I wanted to talk to you about instances where pupils have joined our school community in very challenging circumstances, particularly during war. And during the Second World War in 1939, Talbot Heath welcomed some Jewish children who had been evacuated out of Germany as part of the Kindertransport. Someone wrote, one of the former pupils wrote to the head teacher at the time, Miss Stocks, and says, Miss Stocks, we must do something about this. We must welcome some pupils into our community. So one of the pupils who arrived at Liverpool Street Station in London in August 1939 was Anne Marcus, and she came and joined our community, and we've got two quotes from Anne. So she arrived, she had to leave her family, abandon her family, just came with a small suitcase, and then was told that she was going to head down to Bournemouth to join Talbot Heath School. And later on in her life, Anne Marcus, who then became Anne Kramer after she got married, wrote and said about her experiences. I often talk and more often think of the kindness of students and staff at a time when my life and that of my family had become almost impossible to bear. I still think back with great gratitude for the love and security that I received from so many at school, Miss Wilkinson, Mary, and the other girls in St. Catherine's and in my class. I have so much to be thankful for. And then in 2004, she wrote, I shall never forget the love and help given to me when in 1938, fleeing from Germany, the teachers and students embraced and helped me to become oriented to an entirely new life. God bless you all. So those students came in and really they made such a valuable contribution to our school community, and it was an honour and a privilege for us to welcome them in. But at the same time, we were taking in a number of evacuees from a convent school, St Anne's Convent in Southampton. Southampton, because it's got a harbour and a port, it was being bombed day and night, and it posed a great threat to the children there. And the school had a request to take the whole school in to join Talbot Heath. And this is a quote from the Jubilee book, which tells the history of Talbot Heath. And I thought this was interesting because it showed how little time the school had to prepare for this. So let's have a look. I'm just trying to move that out of the way. The Sixth Form's farewell dance in July 1939, the first of its kind, to which the staff and boys of Camford School were invited, presented a scene of peacetime festivity. But the prevailing note of anxiety was struck in Miss Stock's speech day report, in which she announced that, in an emergency, an evacuated day school would be allowed to work in our buildings. The school disbanded for the holidays on the 27th of July. One afternoon towards the end of August, Miss Wingate, then second mistress, met by chance a colleague coming from a different part of England in the main street of Shaftesbury and held a brief colloquy. What do you think? The same as you do. Where are you going? The same as you are. Both turned up at school next day and were joined by many others who cut their vacations short to return and be on hand. Old girls and day girls were impanelled. One of those present records, a full staff meeting was held to prepare for the reception on the 1st of September of 200 evacuees from Southampton. No one blenched, not even Miss Fraser, to whom Miss Stocks remarked casually, they may have to send us a number of expectant mothers. Do you think you can manage them? The headmistress was in her element. Duties were allotted in order of priority, and the exact position of every tin of food to be distributed was determined. There was a silence of breathless admiration which lasted until Mademoiselle broke it with a fervent exclamation, "Oh, Miss Stocks, what a pity that you did not organise the coronation of the Pope." During the next 3 weeks, the houses and buildings were blacked out, special constables were interviewed, windows were striped with paper, sandbags were sewn and filled before the opening day of autumn term 20 September 1939 ushered in 5.5 years of war. So 200 evacuees joined the school with very little notice. And I know Mrs. Stone works tirelessly night and day and is our champion of organisation. But for a school just to almost add a third, again, pupils with very little notice who were sleeping and coming in as day pupils, it was a tremendous effort by all. Now, this week, we have welcomed pupils to our school from Ukraine, as have many families in our area. And Mr. Jewell has welcomed, his family has welcomed in a mother and a daughter, and he's going to tell you more.
Good morning. Yes, some of you may already know that my family have welcomed in Deanna, who is 34, and her 5-year-old daughter, Amira. I spoke about them in assembly the other week. Here's a photo of them enjoying a well-earned hot chocolate. It was Amira's first hot chocolate. I think it lasted about 3 seconds following the journey that they'd had. I asked Deanna if she could write a short statement, which I'm going to read to you today, but I just want to explain a little bit about the journey they've made. Their journey has been very difficult. I said briefly, they're from Eastern Ukraine, and I mentioned in assembly how they went through Poland, Germany, and France. This was all during the month of Ramadan, and as practicing Muslims, they felt it was important to observe this period of fasting where during daylight hours, you're not to eat or drink. This is done to show gratitude, practice self-restraint, to show empathy for the less fortunate, and to reduce distractions and focus on their religion. And I thought it was amazing to hear Deanna, who over the last few months, her and her daughter have definitely been classed as less fortunate themselves, say that it was important for her to do this to understand how other people felt. They managed to maintain their fast during the whole time, and it was one of the things that kept them together and felt part of a community. So I'm going to share with you a quote, which, a statement which Deanna read. You can follow it on the screen. Her English is very good, but we've just taken it in her words. I've been in the UK now for 2 weeks, and it's very nice. Me and my daughter have spent 4 months traveling from Ukraine. We've lived in tents in shared houses with other Ukrainians, up to 30 at a time, and spent some nights outside in the cold. It's been a long and hard journey. My daughter has had no school, and I have had no help to keep her educated. We've had many days without food or access to a bathroom or toilet. It's been so nice to be here. Your people are so kind and give their time to help us settle. War is at home, and my family are fighting and scared. I am scared, but I am safe. Please remember those not as lucky as me and keep them in your prayers. Together we can make the world peaceful again. My highlight has been seeing my daughter happy and playing with the young girls we live with, settling in with my host family and reminding them that Ukraine won the Eurovision Song Contest. That last bit hurts to read. It's been a hell of a journey for them. It's been a long time, but they're settling. Amira is now in school, and they're hoping to build a life here for them, based on the love and kindness that communities like Talbot Heath and like anybody who's tried to help have shown them. And I think that line, I just want to leave you with that to think about for a moment. Please remember those not as lucky as me and keep them in your prayers. Together we can make the world peaceful again. And I think we can if we show love. Back over to you.
So thank you to Mr. Jewell for offering us that insight. And we teach global citizenship here at Talbot Heath. It's very important. We talk about peace and conflict resolution, geopolitics, human rights. All of these things are essential for you to develop your knowledge, your education, and the ability and the desire to make the world a better place and a more peaceful place, viewing all of us as part of one shared humanity. So I have some notices now to congratulate some pupils. I wanted to start by saying well done to Lexi Gandhi. So for the past few weeks, along with 80 other under 13 girls from years 6, 7 and 8, Lexi has attended training sessions run by the West Panthers at Exeter University. They represent the Southwest in the United Kingdom Festival of Hockey in July. So at Nottingham University, there are going to be 20 girls teams entered in the Festival 10 Cup and the 10 trophy squads. She has been selected from a pool of 4 goalkeepers to play in the trophy squad. She's very proud to represent her region and to be playing at such a high level this summer. So can we congratulate Lexi and say well done to her and good luck with that. Now, someone else who's been doing very well is Sophie. So Sophie represented Christchurch Rowing Club at the Bristol Avon Regatta on Saturday. She came first in the women's under 14 coxed quads and first in the women's under 14 double. A really excellent team effort with them winning the double semi-final by 0.5 of a second. So I know we've got some really talented rowers here at Talbot Heath. So well done, Sophie. Can we congratulate her? Excellent. Right, I have a message. This is coming from Anna in the lower 6. Mrs. Holloway, please could you announce in Assembly that on Thursday break time, the Rwanda Committee is selling donuts in the dining hall and outside the hub for £1 each, and that is all as part of their fundraising for Godfrey's Cooperative in Rwanda. So please support that if you can. And I wanted to say good luck. We have a swimming team made of swimmers from year 7 and 8. They are taking part in the World Student Games swimming event in London this weekend. This is the first time we've had a team represented at that World Games. So good luck to Bertie, Bee, Scarlett, Blossom, Hallie and Lottie. And we're really delighted and good luck. I know you'll give your best, and we're thrilled that the school is being represented at that event this year. Now, finally, one of our former pupils, and she's also one of our former teachers, Mrs. Bateman. She was here recently teaching RS and PSHRE, and she has written a book, and we can have a look at the slide. So this book supports the well-being of young people. So the book is called Letters to My Teenage Self, and there is a book launch in June, and they're asking young people, teenagers, to do some artwork that can be shown at the book launch. And the theme for the artwork is hope. So Letters to My Teenage Self, and we're going to get some copies of this for the library and for our PSHE team, and they might use some of this as a starting point for some discussions perhaps. This is about overcoming adversity with real life stories of teen struggles and fresh hope to face each day. So they've asked you to think about what gives you hope in times of struggle and how through your art you can inspire others to shine their light. So if you are a keen artist and you're creative, it can be a digital piece, it can be an actual piece, so it could be a drawing, a painting, multimedia piece. If you'd like to do something, it isn't a competition, but anything that's submitted will be shown at the book launch. And it's wonderful that a former pupil of TH and a former member of staff is doing this and launching this book. So if you would like to do a piece of art, and I think we'll put some posters around the school reminding people, the deadline is the 1st of June, I believe, and you can either send that to me via email or hand it in to the front office, or if you think I'm not sure who to hand it to, I'm sure if you hand it to Mr. Jewell or Mrs. Manley or Mrs. McDonald with her wellbeing and mental health hat on, that will come to me, and it'll be wonderful to have Talbot Heath represented at that event, because mental health and well-being is a priority for us now. And it's super that that resource has been written by one of our community. Now, you're going to be disappointed. He's not here today. The junior school have Reverend Burke this morning. They haven't abducted him. He's leading their assembly. So, but he will be back with us in the near future. But can I tell everyone this morning, the lower 5 have started their exams. Today, they've started with art. But tomorrow and Friday, they will be having their exams in particular rooms, which are going to trigger some room changes. Now, tutors, can you make sure, Mrs. Stone has emailed out all the room changes, can you make sure that your class is briefed? And they've made a note of that, because what we want to do is try and keep that part of the corridor quiet for those lower 5s. So lower 5s, I know you're not here in person, but we wish you all the very best. starting your assessments. GCSEs are still going. A-levels start on Monday. So as you leave your form rooms now, you did brilliantly on Monday. Can you go out very quietly, please, so as not to disturb those exams? Have a very good day, everybody. Bye.